Hello, welcome back to Laura Logic. So it's been a little while since our first episode with Laura Logic, and the reason for that being is life happens, but also after that first episode, I really just didn't know where to go from there. I didn't really like the direction that the podcast was going in, so I really wanted to take some time to assess and figure out what exactly I wanted to do with my podcast. Well, since then, some things have happened, things have changed, and I started a new business. So last episode, I did mention that I started a massage therapy business, and that's still going, building, and it's slow, but it's happening. But I also did another one. What a way to say I started another business. I started another business as a travel advisor with a company called Fora. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I've always loved travel. I've always loved planning travel. As many of you know, I planned my own honeymoon. So I think that it just makes sense for my podcast to be my travel stories. So I finally found a direction that I'm really excited about for this podcast. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And the perfect segue, my first episode, I talked a lot about my wedding. So the second episode that's going into travel stories, I'll talk about my honeymoon. And it's a story. So let's get into it. I don't know if I've mentioned before, my honeymoon was the main part of my honeymoon was a Mediterranean cruise. We did a 7-night Mediterranean cruise with MSC on the World Europa ship. I loved it. It was a great time. It was a lot, though. I have Hashimoto's, and I'm still learning about my body and how things affect me. And I know that travel does have a major effect on me, but it's been a while since I traveled last, so I thought that I could keep up. I did okay, but by the end of my honeymoon, I was exhausted. But it was so worth it because I saw so many great places. So we flew into Rome. That was by choice. Our ship was leaving from Genoa, which is the northwest coast of Italy. But we flew into Rome so that way we could see Rome. I have family there. We wanted to see my family. So we planned accordingly. We decided that going to Rome at the beginning of our trip to see the family would make the most sense rather than spending our honeymoon together and kind of like getting exhausted and then having to be like, let's put on a show for meeting my cousin. So it just kind of made sense for us to do it at the beginning of our trip. And also flying into Rome. Rome is a much easier airport to fly into. The airport, maybe I'll do an episode later where I rank my favorite airports, because Rome is at the top of my list. I love Rome. That airport is small, but it's efficient, and they just know what they're doing over there in Italy. So we fly into Rome, and I tried to figure everything out, but not ever doing anything like this before. It's a little hard to gauge exactly how the day is going to go. So everything went fine the day of. We land in Rome, we land in the morning. So the idea is for us to just stay awake and just power through the jet lag so that way we can sleep at night and not miss any of our honeymoon. So that's what we did. My cousin picked us up from the airport and he took us to his apartment. I've already met her. Taylor met his wife and him and their child, and we had a great time hanging out. And then we had a tour for the Colosseum that was gifted to us from our registry for our wedding. So he gave us a ride. We were in the car and he's like pointing out different landmarks, and it's great to have like a local tour guide there. And he is so good with history. So not only are you getting all these landmarks pointed out to you, but he's telling you all the history behind them. What a guy. What a great cousin to have. So we are having a great time sightseeing, spending time with him. And then we go to our meeting point for our tour, which it actually was the Roman Forum, Palatine Hill, and the Colosseum. What an amazing tour. Hot tip. If you want to have a private tour, but you can't afford a private tour, go to Italy in the off season. We went in February. It was supposed to be a small group tour, so a maximum of 8 people, I believe. But because it was the off season, nobody else was there. So we got a private tour. And our tour was booked through a company called Through Eternity. Amazing. Our tour guide was amazing. Love her. We just got so lucky with how this worked out. So, and that tour really was amazing. And the inside of the Colosseum, definitely worth seeing. So after we finished the Colosseum tour, our tour guide sends us on our way. She asks where we're going next. We say we're going to Piazza Navona on foot. And she was like, oh, that's easy peasy. You'll just take this one street and it'll be a 15-minute walk. We're like, amazing. Well, it starts raining for one. And two, the street that she pointed out, it was closed because they were trimming trees. And even though they were only doing one side of the street, and they could have had the other side open, they did not do that. The whole street was closed for tree trimming. So she said that we could go around, and it would be a little bit of a longer walk, maybe closer to 25 minutes, but we would still be able to make it to our destination. Well, it starts pouring. Not just rain. We have rain jackets. My cousin had given us umbrellas. If it had just been like little sprinkling, we would have been fine, but no, it is pouring. Do you know how often it rains in Rome? Like maybe twice a year. We brought the Florida rain with us. So, yeah. We decided to just duck into this like tourist trap gift shop, essentially. And we bought some souvenirs, as tourists do. And we're just like waiting out the rain. We're like, okay, it's gonna slow down eventually. And then it's still daylight. We can still make it to our tour. So we wait out the rain. It lets up a little. We're like, okay, let's continue on our journey. And then it gets heavy again. So we're like, okay, we got to find some place to just like duck into. At this point, I'm like, okay, the sun is setting. We're not going to make it to this next tour. I was like, it's just a lost cause. We'll just come back to Rome one day and we'll do the tour when we come back. So, in that instance, I was kind of like wishing that I had booked with a travel advisor, because my travel advisor would have been able to, 1, get us a car, or 2, call our tour and be like, hey, they can't make it. This unexpected thing has happened. Can they reschedule for the end of their trip? And but I couldn't figure out how to get a hold of them. I had no idea how to get a hold of them. But if I had a travel advisor, that would have been something that they did way before, early on. So they would have already had a point of contact. It would have been easy for any of us to reach out to them and hopefully rectify the situation. But because I had no way of getting a hold of them, we just missed out. So we ended up ducking into this little restaurant, which honestly, we missed out on a tour, but I got to have real Italian lasagna. Did I really miss out? I don't think so. And then I don't remember what Taylor ordered, but it was some sort of pasta, and he said it was really good. And we also got bread service with olive oil. I highly recommend, if you're in Rome or in Italy anywhere, you try real authentic olive oil, because it is not like the garbage we have here in America. It is amazing. So, it was a cute little restaurant. The food was excellent, so compliments to the chef. The management, however, I was not a huge fan of. It was raining, like I said, and we ducked into this restaurant. Now, I am not the type of person to just take up space in a business without giving them any business, you know? So we walk into this restaurant, and a man approaches us. I don't know if he's like a seating host or a manager or what. And he says, "Hello, how can I help you?" And the place is practically empty. It's very small. There's like maybe 5 tables, but it's empty. And I said, "Are you open?" Because they don't look open because nobody's eating there. And he says, "To dine?" I said, "Well, this is a restaurant, right?" And he was like, "Well, yeah." And I was like, "Yes, we want to dine." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, we're open to dine. I get it. Like, you don't want just people just coming in and taking up space in your business and then not buying any food, just being in there to hide from the rain. I get it. But, like, don't assume that that's what I'm doing. Like, ask if I want a table and if I'd like menus. If I say no, I don't need a menu, then you could say, "So we're only open to people who are here to dine." Okay, but don't assume. Anyways, the food was great. Management was questionable. I'm pretty sure he was the owner. He can run his business however he sees fit. I just don't agree with it. So, he also was very misogynistic towards me in a way. We don't need to get into it though. It's fine. It's just, he was trying to be funny and it just rubbed me the wrong way. So moving right along. We finish eating. I call my cousin, "Hey, the rain's not stopping. Can you come pick us up?" And he was like, "Sure." He was like, "Can you walk like 5 minutes to the spot where I dropped you off?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think we can handle that." So we do have our umbrellas, so it's fine. So we walk back over there. We get in the car. We're like soaking wet and freezing. So we go back to his apartment. Thankfully, all of our luggage was there, so we were able to change our clothes and get into something dry. And and then we ended up having 2 dinners that night. They ordered us pizza, so we had real Italian pizza, and they also got us like fresh made tiramisu. I love tiramisu. It is my favorite dessert in the entire world. If I could only have tiramisu for the rest of my life, I'd be perfectly happy. Totally okay with that. So, that's what I did. We ate and we drank and we had a great time. And then we got a ride from my cousin to our hotel. And we said, "Okay, maybe we'll see you on the flip side." So, we get to it's a Airbnb rather, and we get cleaned up, we get in bed. It's finally, I have a hair on my lip. It's finally time for sleep. After traveling for like 12 hours plus a 7-hour time difference or 6-hour time difference, something like that, you're ready to sleep. So we crash. We have to get up early in the morning because we have a train to catch. So when I did the research for this trip, Google Maps told me that from our Airbnb to the train station is a 15-minute walk. Easy enough, right? If you've never been to Rome, here's a fun little fact. Most of the streets and sidewalks are cobblestone. Everything is uphill. It doesn't seem to matter where you're going, you will go uphill. And there also will probably be stairs involved. Now, if you're just walking by yourself, no big deal. If you have 2 suitcases, it might be a little bit more difficult and it might take you a little bit more time. 15 minutes was actually an hour. So when we were an actual 15 minutes away from the train station, our train had left. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. So, another time in our honeymoon. This is twice now, within the first day, 2 days, that I'm wishing I had a travel advisor. Because maybe my travel advisor would have known that I'm Delulu and making it to the train station in 15 minutes was ridiculous. Or I would have known to just take the metro. And I still kick myself for this. The metro was literally right outside our Airbnb. And it takes you right to the train station. We could have been there in 5 minutes. But I wanted to save money and not buy a ticket for the metro. And then I ended up having to spend another €100 for the next train. Also, this is the crazy part. I was so stressed out. We missed our train, which means that there's not another bullet train that will make it there in time for us to catch our ship. Which means that we have to go on the regular train. So a 2.5 hour train ride has now turned into a 4.5, 5 hour train ride. We are supposed to get to the train station in Genoa at 3:45 p.m. You have to be at the ship to get on it at 4 p.m. And so I'm stressing. And stressing isn't going to do anything. It's not going to make the train go faster. Lord knows if it did, I would have turned that train into a bullet train. So, yeah, I wish that I had a travel advisor so they could call the cruise and be like, hey, this couple is an idiot. But they're on their way. Don't leave without them. Please and thank you. So, we get there to the train station at 3:45. You come out of the train station and the terminal, the port, is literally right across the street. But to cross the street, there's not a crosswalk that goes straight across. You have to go to the right and then straight and then to the left and then you can go. I'm like, of course, we have to wait for all of these crosswalks to allow us to walk to get there when we could have just gone straight. We get to the turnstile and she's like, I need your card. And I'm like, well, we haven't even been on board yet. And she's like, well, then I need your reservation, your ticket. And I was like, okay. So now I'm scrambling to find it. Then we book it in there and we're like, we're so sorry. We're late. Please let us on the ship. When we got to the ship, right, and they're checking our passports and all that fun stuff, the visas, it's 3:55 p.m. But thank God they let us on the ship. It all worked out. We also felt better that we weren't the only ones. There was another couple there. I'm not really sure where they were from. If I saw their passport, I would recognize it. I think they were from Thailand, maybe China. I don't know. I don't remember what they look like. I just remember their passport. But there was a language barrier. The person that works for the ship that is checking your passport and your visa and your identification and your ticket to make sure that you're the right person getting on the ship, she's asking them for their visa. So he hands her a credit card and she says, no sir, this is a credit card, I need your visa. I guess in his mind, when he's learning English, in his mind, visa, Visa card, is just a term for credit cards, like Kleenex is tissues. Everybody just says Kleenex. So she says, no, sir, this is a credit card. I need your visa. So I'm trying to help him out. And I show him my passport and I flip to the page and I said, visa, travel visa, passport. And he's still so confused. And At least I have one thing going for me. I'm very organized. So Taylor and I already have our passports out with our visas ready, and I have our paperwork. We're good to go. So she says, let me just help you guys first because you're more prepared, and then I will help them second. And I was like, okay, perfect. Sounds good. So we get on the ship. They tell us that we can just go straight to our room. That's all they said. Okay. I don't know when or where I would have gotten the memo that your key cards for your door are hanging on a door hanger outside your door. I had no idea. I don't know where they have that information posted pre-trip because I did not get the memo. So we hike all the way to our room, and we got a suite because it's our honeymoon. We were a little bit bougie. So we did the grand suite. It is amazing. It's an amazing room. I highly recommend it. I don't know how I'll ever be okay with just a porthole or a window in my room because we had a whole like wraparound balcony, massive room with a sitting area, big bathroom. It was amazing. It was an incredible room. So the thing is though, with the suites, they are all the way in the back. Way in the back. Like literally the last room in the back. So it is a hike to get there. And we're hiking with our luggage. We get there and I'm like, how the heck do we get in our room? And I see the door hanger, but I just assumed that it was one of those door hangers that's just like, do not disturb. And I was like, who cares about that right now? So we leave our luggage and I'm like, well, let's just do like our muster station thing and we'll figure out our key cards while we're down there doing that. So we go to our muster station. The guy's already gone because we were like extremely late. So we're like trying to figure out how to do that. We finally get it done, get checked in, and then we go to the help desk to get our key cards. And he's like, they weren't on the door. And I'm like, no, they weren't on the door. How would they be on the door? And he's like, there was no like hanger on the door. And for whatever reason, because I panicked, I said no. I don't know why I said that. I said no. And then as soon as I said no, I said, oh, that's what that thing was in my head. But he was like already saying, okay, I'll just get you new cards. So I didn't want to be like, no, wait, come back. I was like, oh, well, we'll each have 2 cards. It'll be fine. So that's what happened. And then we went all the way back up to our room, got in, and, we chilled. Now, because of the way that the itinerary was, we knew that we were going to be back in Rome the next day. So I was like, all the things that we didn't get to do yesterday, we can do it tomorrow. Easy peasy, right? Well, you know what they say. You make plans and God laughs at you. We get there, and because of all the rain that had happened, the train tracks were flooded. So the trains weren't running. So 1, we did not get to go back to Rome, but 2, if we hadn't been able to make it on the ship and we would have had to go back to Rome, get a hotel for that night, and then try and make it to the port the next morning, we would have had to pay for a taxi because the trains weren't running. So thank God we made it on the ship the day before. What an absolute disaster. So we decide, okay, we're stressed out. It's been a stressful couple of travel days. Let's just chill out today. We're just hanging out on the ship. We'll just explore the ship. We'll have a great time. Now, with Hashimoto's, you get very fatigued very easily. So because my sleep schedule has been so wonky, I'm finding it hard to convince myself to actually do things. But I was like, it's just the ship. I'll just walk around the ship a little bit and then I can come rest. So that's what we did. And there's really not much to say about that day. We didn't do much. We just relaxed. We ate some of the food on board. The food, by the way, I know there's mixed reviews out there for MSC's cuisine. Um, I really enjoyed it. The only night, which is kind of unfortunate, which is Mediterranean night, it's like the big thing because I think that ship is now in like the Caribbean, South America area now, but when it's in the Mediterranean, they do Mediterranean night, which is like a big deal for that ship because it's like we're in the Mediterranean, we're having Mediterranean night. And the menu selection was just not what I was hoping it would be. I mean, I'm Egyptian, so I know good Mediterranean food, specifically Egyptian food, Greek food, Italian. I love it all. It's delicious food, and the selection that they had for the menu was just womp womp womp. So, just a little bit disappointing. The next day, we went to Sicily. Sicily is beautiful. I loved it. I don't think anything like extreme or like crazy or super interesting happened in Sicily. We got off the ship, we saw Sicily, we explored, we had fun, we got back on the ship. Ta-da! And then after that was Malta. I think for both of us, as far as like the cruise itinerary goes, Malta was our favorite spot. It was also the first time I was ever actually able to have gelato, which they just call it ice cream because it's all the same. And you just kind of realize that the ice cream that we have here in America is so watery. Like it's more like creamy ice water than real ice cream. Like their ice cream is creamy. It is rich. It is so good. So that was a really fun experience. And I think that was the day that it was also my mom's birthday. So I got her a little present while we were there. We did some shopping. We saw a museum and we had gelato. Beautiful views of the sea. That was a really fun time. But we went in February. So the whole time the weather is like damp, rainy, and cold. So it's not like the best weather to go, but there was way less people. And I would take the cooler, chillier weather over tons of people any day. So, that being said, we were able to see a lot of Malta that we typically wouldn't have been able to. The only thing that we didn't go see was the Grand Master's palace. We looked at it through the gate and we were like, okay, cool. It's pretty. It's something for us to do the next time we go back. That's the way that I look at it. So then after that, we went to Spain, and it was a very damp, rainy day in Spain. So we decided we're going to get on the metro. We're going to walk La Rambla, and we're going to get on the metro and go see the Sagrada Familia. Don't come at me for the way that I say that. I cannot roll my R's. So you're just going to have to deal with my American accent saying Sagrada Familia. I do it the best I can. Thank you. So we're walking La Rambla. I'm like, hey, I'm hungry. This food smells really good. Do you want to stop somewhere and eat? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we sit down to eat at this little outdoor cafe. I forget the name. I think I have a picture. I'll put it here. And I already know. We're in Spain. What am I going to get? Paella. Is there even a question about it? I'm going to get paella. So I'm so excited. And I asked Taylor what he's going to order. This man, I don't remember what it's called, but it was the equivalent of fried chicken in Spain. I said, you're not ordering that. Why not? We're in Spain. Order a Spanish dish, please. Okay. So he looks at the menu again, and he doesn't tell me this time what he's ordering. So they bring our food, paella for me, and then they say spaghetti bolognese or pasta bolognese for the gentleman. And he looks at me and he looks confused. And I'm like, why are you confused? He's like, I don't think this is what I ordered. And so what did you order? He's like, spaghetti. Or no, he ordered pasta bolognese. They came and they put it in front of him and said spaghetti for the gentleman. So he looks confused. And I said, what? What's the problem? And he was like, I don't think I ordered this. I don't think I ordered spaghetti. I said, well, what did you order? He said, pasta bolognese. I said, that is spaghetti. That's like the real term for spaghetti. We just call it spaghetti in America. Spaghetti is a type of pasta, but typically we have it with a bolognese red sauce. So pasta bolognese is just spaghetti noodles with a bolognese sauce. And he was like, oh, the more you know. I was like, well, it's not Spanish, but it's Italian. We'll take it. It's not American. And it was really good. I know we got we got croquettes. I love me a croquette. If you're my dietitian and you're hearing me talk about how much gluten I had on my trip, no, you didn't. I was fine. Everything's fine. So, it was worth it, okay? And the gluten over there is different than the gluten here in America. They don't have their over processing doesn't exist in Europe. We over process everything here, but not there. So we finish eating and we continue on our trek. We get to the metro station. We take the metro to the Sagrada Familia. We take our pictures, and now our rain jackets have been soaked through. My rain jacket is not very good. I learned on that trip, but I can't complain because I only paid like $16 for it. So it did its job. And we saw the Sagrada Familia. It's stunning. We did not go inside. Yeah, I did not buy our tickets in advance. I don't know why. I think it just slipped through cracks. Another reason why I should have had a travel advisor, because they would have been like, hey, if you want to see the inside, you need to buy your tickets now. I would have been like, oh my god, what a great idea. Thank you, travel advisor. So, you live and you learn. But we still got to see the outside of it, and we have something to look forward to for the next time we go back. There's always a silver lining. So, by now, we both feel like we are soaked through to our bones. So I was like, let's just go back to the ship and enjoy our evening on the ship. So that's what we did. We got some food, explored the ship, went to the room, hung out there, relaxed, had a great time. And then after Spain was Genoa, Rome, Sicily, Malta, Spain, and France. So plans really changed in France. The weather, we were supposed to go to Marseille. The weather did not cooperate. And we got told literally like the night before, while we're in the ocean, so I can't do any research, that we are not going to Marseille. We are going to Toulon. I had never heard of Toulon. I was like, okay, well, we'll still be in France, so we'll just figure it out when we get there. So that morning, we've docked. It's like 8 a.m. And I'm like, okay, let's figure out what there is to do around here. So the easiest way for me to do that is to just go on Google Maps and look at the little icons and see what there is to do. I learned quickly that Toulon is a naval base. And the thing about Google is naval bases are always blurred out. So I couldn't see crap. And I was like, well, what the heck do we do? Now, if you are in Marseille, they have a free shuttle to the little town where there's everything to do for you. In Toulon, it was not free. It was, I think, $20 a person round trip on a water taxi to go to the other side of the channel. And the only way that you can get there is by water taxi. And the idea of spending another unexpected 40 euros, I was like, let's just see what we can find on this side of the channel. So we just went for a walk. Plot twist, there was nothing to do. There's an old fort. I thought maybe we could go explore the fort. No, it's being used by the Navy. So you can't. They even have signs posted everywhere that if you trespass, you'll go to prison. So I was like, well, we won't be doing that. So we walked, down to the fort. There was like this little area that's like a little beach, but it was freezing, so it's like we were like gonna try and get in the water or anything. But we just sat down, had a little chit chat, and then when it was time to go back to the ship, we just walked back to the ship. So it actually was a very nice afternoon together, like morning, afternoon. And we took some cute photos by the beach. Here's one. It was Valentine's Day, so I was wearing hearts for Valentine's Day. And then we went back on the ship. And from Toulon, I think we left earlier than we did anywhere else. Any other port that we left, it was already nighttime. This time we left around sunset. And I remember that because the sunset was amazing. Of course, when we're ready to leave, that's when the weather clears up and it becomes beautiful. But I got some amazing pictures of the sunset. So I'll put a few here just because there's so many to choose from. But yeah, like the sunset was just gorgeous. Probably one of the most beautiful sunsets I've seen in my entire life. And because we were in a suite, we were on one of the higher decks. We were on deck 10, which means that our deck was higher than the birds fly. So I got pictures of birds flying, videos of birds flying from above, which I thought was really cool. It's not every day you get to see something like that. So yeah, and it just was, that was a great day. It was Valentine's Day. We had the best time. And Taylor got me chocolates from the chocolate shop on the ship, which is amazing. French chocolate is something else. It is. I love chocolate, who doesn't, really? So yeah, that was, what a great time. And then after that, we went back to Genoa. But there was a sea day in there. And this is the other thing I wish I would have known. In the winter, the sea in the Mediterranean is real choppy. So that whole sea day, we were rocking. All day and all night. And by dinner time, I have never gotten seasick in my entire life. But by dinner time, I felt it. So I went and I sat in the room in one of the chairs in our little sitting area so I could rock front to back and kind of like level out my equilibrium. And I think it worked. I felt better. I went to bed in the morning. I felt okay. But also, I felt okay because we were docked. So, yeah, when we got off onto land, I was like, thank God. I've never felt a ship rock like that before, so the waves must have been pretty big. So, yeah, I don't know that I could ever do a cruise that long again. It was a lot. You get to see a lot in a short amount of time, which is like amazing. I still stand by cruising being the best way to travel because your hotel room just moves with you. I just wish that you could spend like an overnight. I know some cruises do that, but I think all cruises should do that. You spend an overnight in each city, which would make the cruises twice as long. I understand that. But like maybe in like certain places, like in Spain, I would have definitely loved to do an overnight. In Malta, I would have loved to do an overnight. In Toulon, no, thank you. Actually, we can just skip it. Let's just do an extra day at whatever other port. Yeah, it was a great trip. And then we got back to Genoa, and then we took a day trip over to Milan. There are so many things. I mean, like, it sounds like there's so many things, but it's not like that many. Because it was over the span of like a week and a half. But I didn't realize that the Olympics were happening in Milan until we were leaving. Like, till we were literally on our way to our honeymoon. And I was like, oh. So I wish we would have done Milan at the beginning of our trip rather than the end. Because there were so many people. And there's a park at the Castillo. Like, you go through the Castillo, then there's a park on the other side that's really beautiful. And, there's shopping, there's the Duomo, and everywhere was just so crowded. And, yeah. So, but we got to see it. We got to see my other cousin and my aunt, and that was great. We spent the day with my cousin. I saw my aunt for a moment, was able to give her a hug, which is more than I get to do on a daily basis, so I was grateful for that. And we had a fun time. And I think because we spent so much time out in damp, cold weather, that night, or last night there, we both started feeling pretty icky. So we got sick, and we were flying out the next morning. And I don't know how I knew this. I just knew that our Airbnb that we were checking into that night, I just knew that the host was going to be a talker. I don't know how I knew that, but everything that I daydreamed, that I imagined, it happened. We get there, he takes us upstairs. He tells us this key is for the front door of the hotel. This key is for our room if we decide to leave. And I'm like, it is midnight. We are going to sleep. We have a flight in the morning. And he was like, okay, no worries, but just in case. So then he's like showing us the room. It's literally a room and a bathroom. And that's it. And he's like, and then this is the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, it's very nice. We love it. Everything's great. We want to sleep. And he's like, okay. He's like, good night. And there's snacks. Take anything you want. Okay, thank you so much. You're so kind. We're just gonna go to sleep. So he leaves finally, and then I hop in the shower, put my PJs on, get in bed. Taylor hops in the shower, puts his PJs on, get in bed, and then we have to get up at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're getting like 6-ish hours of sleep at this point. And so he we get up and we have to book it to the airport, or so we thought. So I texted the host to let him know that we had left, so he knew that he could clean the room or have the room cleaned, whatever. And he was like, oh, I didn't even get to send you off. And I was like, it's okay, no worries, we have a flight to catch. Like I mentioned 5 times the night before. He was being very nice, but let us live. So you meet all kinds of people when you go on vacation. So we get to the airport with plenty of time to spare. And like I said, the Rome airport is so efficient. Here in Florida, whether you're flying out of Orlando or Tampa, I've never flown out of Miami, so I can't speak on that, but either Tampa or Orlando, you generally speaking want to get to the airport 2 hours before your flight. If it's international, maybe just a little bit earlier than that. So we get there 2 hours early for our flight, thinking it's going to take us a while to get to our gate. Nope. We made it to our gate in 15 minutes flat. So now we have like an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes to kill. I'm like, well, let's get some breakfast. So Taylor goes, we're sick. We still don't feel good. So we're exhausted. It's bright in the airport. Wish I would have had access to an airport lounge. Being a travel advisor now, I can get passes to airport lounges. Didn't know that was a thing until I became a travel advisor. So now that I know. It's a great tool to have in my tool belt. So he goes to find breakfast. He comes back. Our flight's been delayed by 3 hours. There's a technical issue with the plane, and they cannot fly it, and they do not have another plane to give us. Okay, so we eat our breakfast. We think, okay, we're just going to try and sleep. Just try to rest. It'll be fine. I asked the ticketing counter, well, what happens if I miss my connecting flight? Oh, well, if you miss your connecting flight, don't worry. We'll just automatically rebook you on the next flight. Okay, sounds good. They're like, there'll be no cost to you. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Okay, I won't worry about it. I won't stress. I'll just go nap. So that's what I did. We finally get on the flight, and it ended up being, I want to say 2 hours delayed, I think is what it ended up being. So it wasn't as long as we thought it was going to be, but definitely a while. And we are struggling. He's not struggling. He's sleeping like a baby on this plane. I cannot sleep. I am anxious, so my mind is just racing. The people that are a row ahead of me diagonally they're a couple, and they're both watching Gladiator, but they're watching it at different times. Like, one of them started later, so I would doze off, and then I'd be like, oh, she made it to him, and he's way ahead. And so I'd like watch a couple scenes, and I'd doze off, and I watch more Gladiator. I was like, this is very fitting for being in Rome and being in the Colosseum. So, should I have just watched it on my own screen? I'm glad you asked that. I asked for headphones like 3 times, and I never got them. It was an 8-hour flight. I gave up after the 3rd time. I was like, whatever. I don't get headphones. I don't get to watch anything. It's fine. So, whatever. And at a certain point, my nose was running so much from the cabin pressure that I just shoved tissues up there and just left them there. And this poor flight attendant looks at me, asks me if I want water, and goes, "Are you okay?" I think I jump scared her. Sorry, girl. Yeah, my sinuses were not happy with the cabin pressure changing. So we finally land, and I automatically get a text that I get a hotel credit, or I get credit to book a hotel when I land. And I'm like, okay, so I guess they don't have any more flights going to Orlando or to Tampa tonight. We'll just have to spend the night here in Canada, and then we'll go home tomorrow. And I'm like, I guess that's fine. I texted work, told them I was going to be home a day late, and I'm sick, so I don't know, what's gonna happen. Well, then I get another text from the airline saying that I have been booked on a flight that's leaving tonight. And I'm like, wait a second. Why would I need a hotel if I have a flight home tonight? So I look at the flight. They have us flying into Raleigh, however you say it. And I'm like, why the heck would we be going there? So I'm like, I can't think. I haven't slept. I feel like garbage. I hand my phone to Taylor, and I was just like, help. Help me. And he's like, this doesn't make any sense. So he looks up flights. There's a flight going to Orlando. It leaves in an hour. And it lands in Orlando. And we're like, perfect. We can go home to Florida, not to the Carolinas. Perfect. So I'm like, okay, we got to find the Air Canada help desk and get this situated. So we get there. We finally found it. We passed it. I don't know how we passed it. It's like tucked away though. So we find it with some help, and we're like, hey, you rebooked us on this flight, but we found that there's 3 seats left on this flight. Can we get on this flight instead? And they were like, well, are you sure? Orlando is a ways away from Tampa. Well, it's a lot closer than the Carolinas. So she's like, well, you're going to have to go to Tampa and get your bags. And I was like, you can't just put our bags on this flight? And she's like, well, no. They've already been put on the other plane. I'm like, that was fast. We literally just landed like 10 minutes ago. And she was like, oh, it's only been 10 minutes? She's like, okay. She's like, let me see if they've already taken the bags off the plane. So she like walkie-talkies, calls, whatever. They have not taken the bags off the plane. The guy who is unloading the bags found them and retagged them to go to Orlando. Perfect. So that's what happened. And then my father-in-law is the one that picked us up in the airport. So Taylor calls his dad and says, hey, don't pick us up in Tampa, pick us up in Orlando. And he's like, okay, great. Perfect. It's the same distance either way for us. So it didn't matter where we landed. He just needed to know where to go. And just preferably not Miami. That'd be crazy. So we get our bags from the carousel, we get in the car, and we finally made it home. And then we slept like babies for like 12 hours. And we were, in fact, very sick. We didn't have COVID. I think we just had a cold from being in the cold. And we both kept our germs to ourselves on the plane. I don't think we got anybody sick. We're not inconsiderate. And I washed my hands probably 5,000 times on that flight. But yeah, what a time to be alive. That was my honeymoon. It was an adventure. We had a blast. And would I do it again? Sure. But there are quite a few things that I would do differently. But we had a great time. And so yeah, that was my honeymoon and my first travel story. So I have been many places throughout the United States and internationally. So let me know what story you would like to hear next. Bye!